Welcome back to the Vantage Point. My name is Azandi, the host of the Vantage Point, and you're tuned into your Conscious Podcast. Okay, we've been away for a couple of weeks. We took a bit of a break, and we do apologize for not announcing this intermittent break, but nonetheless, we are back, and we're glad that you're here with us today. And we hope that today is interesting for not only myself, but for you all as well. So, here on the Vantage Point, if you are new, welcome. We like to encourage newbie and melaninites all across the globe to see their lives and see the world from a different vantage point, a different perspective. Move from where you're standing to somewhere else. We want you to see the world differently in such a way that'll propel you towards change, towards awakening, towards liberation for us as newbie and melanite people. We don't want to go into the next year and look back and still be in the same position. So what we aim to do here is bring on speakers from various different backgrounds, various different walks of life, scholars, philosophers, theologians, linguists, professionals. The doctors speak, they come on here and they talk to us, and they'll be on a lot more. You'll be seeing their faces doing some having health conversations with us. And so we want to encourage change, right? And so I hope that we do that in each episode that we have here at the Vantage Point. So welcome back. And we're going to be bringing in a few speakers today, a few of the sisters, a few ladies from the Ladies of Purpose Conference. So each year, the Holy Coptic Church of the Black Messiah, which if you are a listener on the Vantage Point, you're very familiar with, but the Holy Coptic Church of the Black Messiah International, each year we host a ladies conference. This is the second or third year annual ladies conference, which has been going well so far. I believe it's the second year. And we want to kind of have a recap. We want to talk about it. We want to kind of introduce new questions into the topics, things we didn't get to discuss. And first, I want to allow everyone to be able to, when this is over, today's Friday, you got all weekend, instead of, Netflix and chilling or whatever you're doing, I know you're going to be scrolling on TikTok, take some time and check out the Coptic TV page. There you will be able to find the Ladies of Purpose Conference. So you will know exactly where we're coming from today. So I'm going to present my screen just to show you how simple it is, right? You go to YouTube. I'm going to share. Okay. Hold on. We're going to do this again. All right. You go to YouTube. You type in Coptic TV. I hope my screen is showing. Does everyone see my screen? Let's see if you can see the screen. I'm going to look myself. And here on the Coptic TV page, it is showing you will find Ladies of Purpose. Day 1, Reclaiming Ladyhood. Day 2, Ladies of Purpose. And you'll be able to click it, and you'll be able to see some of the ladies that will be joining us today, some of the ladies that are not here today, but you'll be able to watch the entire ladies conference for free, which was amazing and had a lot of great content. You'll be able to watch it for free by simply going to YouTube, type in QTV, press subscribe. You can check out Melanin Minds. You can view Reverend Dr. AJ Varma. You'll see some videos from myself. You'll see all types of things on Coptic TV page, right? Exclusive to that page. All right. So now that we have that established, I hope everyone will go check it out. And I'm going to bring to the screen with me Associate Pastor Karen Hilton, right out of the UK. We have with us Sister Amonette Hika, also known as Miss Tisha Fritz, and she is straight out of Nassau, Bahamas. And then we have Dr. Ford, the conscious counselor, coming to us from Melanin Minds. And she is in South Carolina. Okay, so we're going to bring everyone to the stage. If we can open up our cameras and namastu.
Namastu, real peoples.
Namastu. Okay. So how's everyone doing today? Number one, let's start there.
Don't go to Costco
Namaste.
on a Friday. That's all I have. Don't do it. Don't do yourself like that. Don't be out here in this after five traffic.
Mm.
Well, I mean, no one here, everyone's here. Everyone that is here has been on the Vantage Point before, right? So when we bring the sisters on, y'all know I like to keep it light, have a conversation, keep it real. You know, this is not an interview. Hi, Sister Amonette, tell me.
Hello.
We're not doing that. We don't do that. So we want to, just keep it real and have a conversation with each other,
There we go.
especially so that people can understand, what we're trying to convey, the message that we're trying to convey today. So first off, we had a ladies' conference.
Yes.
What did everyone think about the conference? Number one.
Go
Well,
ahead,
I thought it was
Connie,
great.
over there in the back trying to act like she can't get closer to the camera. We see you.
Anybody?
Yeah,
Well,
I
go
thought it
ahead,
was
sis.
really good. We had a lot of good feedback. It was nice because it was extra nice because, people who came and they, in London this is, and they watched women who came, even men actually, and complimented the fact that they could see that it was unified because we were not just in London, we was not just in Bahamas, and it was international. And because we could watch and hear everybody speaking, and we were kind of like speaking from the same tone, we were, we could see that we were family, we were connected, we were having those jokes, it was getting the jokes. It was like, no, so yeah, we got a lot of positive feedback, especially the things that we were saying, and how we were promoting about the families and a different version of ladyhood. So yeah, we had a lot of good feedback actually. So
Yes,
I enjoyed it myself
I
anyway.
did too.
Yes,
Really
yes.
did.
You
Same
know the part
here,
that I loved
definitely.
about
Go
it?
ahead.
Oh, go ahead, sis. I didn't hear you. I'm so sorry.
Not a problem, my sister. Thank you so much. So yes, we also had good feedback here in the Bahamas. One of the things that I really loved is when we put out the infomercial and the commercial, and we said we're taking off heads.
Yeah.
We surely we're taking off heads, even not just with the false images we even place on ourselves. We literally went deep in ourselves and we unveiled the trauma and everything. And I think that
Yes.
is what
Yes.
was so important for us, and to show that we can, as ladies,
Mhm.
we can also be open and vulnerable and still be strong in ladyhood.
Yes, yes, yes. See, we were getting there. We were getting there. I was going to say I love, but I'll wait. I'll hold that piece. You touched on it. Go ahead, Dr. Ford.
The part that I really love out of all the conferences and all the things that we do here at the, just as Black women, as Black people, as melanated people, is I love the fact that we're taking back our narrative.
Mm,
And that we are, actually putting ourselves out there, putting on programming shows to say, hey, we don't have to follow mainstream, and being the example of that. And just hopefully somewhere out there, we're encouraging young ladies to be ladies, the older ladies to be ladies, that we don't have to continue to be whatever they think we're supposed to be. We can define it. So that's why I loved it.
Yeah.
yes.
Yes. That was my next question. Like, what was your favorite part? And Sister Amonette spoke on it because I was just so pleased with number one, you, Sister Amonette, you took off some heads, okay? Because you were so open. You were so authentic in your answers. And you, Sister Angel, it was moments in the
Mm,
conference, which I hope the listeners really go back and watch it. There were moments, and these are not rehearsed
that's
moments.
right.
These are not like these are raw. We don't tell anybody what we're going to ask. I mean, this is the first time, and I'm sharing that with you guys. This is the first time I ever went on stage without even having questions written, right? It's really
Wow.
bad, but it worked out, right?
Yes.
So that's how you know we don't tell anybody the question, because I mean I didn't know. So I really like how authentic it came across, and how we didn't back down or back away, because a lot of times we try to present ourselves just in a way where we're only showing the best. But when we can show the worst and the best and the ups and downs, all these different time periods in our life, people can feel it. I think it was felt. I think it was felt across the board. So
Definitely.
anyway, all right. So we're gonna get into a few things. I want to start off by sharing a clip. There's some discussion going around. There's a viral clip, I guess that was on TikTok, and it was spoken about on The View. So we're going to start here, and the conversation will move. We'll move all around. But let's watch. Stay tuned. Look at this.
This clip going viral online of a dozen women being asked the following question: do we need men? Most answered very quickly, no. And only one said she thought women needed a man in their lives, only one. But when men were asked a similar question, do we need women, most of them said yes. So why do you think that is?
Because men are useless. I mean, and by the way, I want to differentiate between straight men and gay men, because I think I would die without gay men. Nobody can gossip like gay men. Nobody can help you accessorize like gay men. Nobody can help you keep you from doing harm to yourself like gay men. But with the exception of somebody like Steve, I think Steve is very self-sufficient.
That's Joy's husband.
But like my husband, it takes a village of women to make sure that he's not emaciated, starving, and living in his own filth. He can,
Yeah.
How about you guys?
No.
But I feel you guys are married to people that are more.
I have Handy Manny at home. No, he fixes everything. When things go bump in the night, he's the one that goes downstairs. When there's a bug to be exterminated, he does the extermination.
Nope.
When there is something to be fixed, he fixes it. He throws out the trash and he throws out the recyclables. I enjoy all the man stuff.
So
he does in
wait
my
a second. Listen, I know what you're going to say. But wait. She's really talking about a servant, let's face it.
No.
It's a handyman she's talking
no,
about.
it's a handy manny.
Oh, it's a handyman with benefits.
We do not have.
Well, but the things that you're describing, you could pay somebody to do that. We're not talking about that. What about the inner life of a man? That's what this is about.
I need my man 3 to 4 times a week. And good for you guys. And then the rest of the time I need a wife. Because I've always said
Everyone needs a wife.
No, I teased Vicky, my producer, in the morning. I was like, if you'd like to join Max and I, not in that way, but like Vicky and I could kill it as a household runners. Like we would be laughing, giggling, doing all the things. And Max would be so psyched I was wasting all my words somewhere else anyway. So it would be a perfect combo. And the other day, Caleb said to me, this is my youngest son, he said, Mama, I want a spare mom. And I didn't know what he meant. And he's like, he said, Genevieve has a spare mom. And I realized the parents were divorced.
A nanny?
No, divorced. An extra mom. Like 2 months.
So we could keep going, but we're going to stop right there. Because watching that, right, and understanding how people think. And it's not just them. When I first watched, I said, okay, this can't be real. So I looked and I just seen a bunch of people, young and man, we don't need them, and they're useless. So we're going to talk about that today as ladies, because there's a difference between the clip we just watched and the Ladies of Purpose conference. So ladies of purpose, please speak up concerning the clip we just seen and how we perceive the question being asked. In our response to what we just watched. Anybody could jump in.
I'm gonna go ahead and jump in really quickly, and then I'll jump right out. The part that is really disturbing about that train of thought and about what they were saying is they have intentionally separated the man from the family unit. Right? They never said, "Oh, we don't need a family." They're breaking it down into genders, right? And one of the reasons why it's so important for men to be in the family, we're talking about the socialization of our youth. They need that male perspective, right? To not just help them look at the world in a more balanced way, but just to teach them things that women cannot teach,
That's right.
right? I do have a lot of women, and the I guess the young the one of the older white ladies on the show, right? And she was just like, you could pay someone to do that, right? Like that's just a handyman.
Mm,
And it's amazing how they make these statements, but they've never walked in our shoes, and so they don't
mm,
know about the Moynihan report and how the Negro family was intentionally studied. And it wasn't studied to help create more Black families, but it was studied to make the situation even worse today. Right? She's not looking at the fact that, yes, we have educated Black women who can pay for this or that. These educated Black women got thousands of dollars in loans, student
that's right.
loans that they took out to get this education. And so now you're still creating a situation where it's a latchkey because she's working. Who with the children?
Mm,
Who's protecting our families? So they were looking at it as far as just the monetary, which is one thing that a lot of non-melanated people do. They're just looking at the financials of what men can do, but they're not talking about the values, the
mm.
virtues, the etiquettes, right? They're not talking about the skill set that men actually bring to the table.
And that's interesting you said that, Dr. Ford, because one of the things that stood out for me, I think she was the only Black or Nubian Mennonite at the panel. And she was stating how her man is a handyman and she was talking about his skills. But every last one of those white women or European women said that no, still no, you know? And so it reminds me once again how the white feminism is still being portrayed. You understand? And white feminism, what that does, what we have learned about white feminism is that we exclude the men. We exclude the man out of the family. And it also reminded me, too, that you said it. They don't know exactly how to put themselves in our shoes. So even as she was explaining, even as she was trying to explain, she was being shut off. And I think she, as a Black woman sitting amongst so many white women in their own perspective, I think she was trying to stand up. And I think that is what we need to be able to do, no matter the things that come our way, because those things are prevalent. Those things have been prevalent. So we now have to be able to say, that's what we're doing as ladies of purpose. We're healing our families. We're bringing the family back together. We're now learning our role and our purpose as men, Nubian Mennonite men and women. And
Yeah.
so that's so important.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, definitely. I echo my sisters, what they have said, and also to listening to the lady saying about, well, my man does this, this, and this, and like the host, I think she's the host, who belittled the fact that she valued what her husband could do home. And not only that, the other lady, I don't know any of the names, but the lady who said, well, we'll separate two men, that's the gay men, and then there's nothing, you can't do anything like the gay men, and she had a list of what the gay men can do, but never went back to what the other type of man was labeled useless, and only the gay man had any kind of value. So what about all those men you're telling me that all those men who are not gay, who choose not to be gay, are useless? That means that your father must be useless, because you're sitting here, and I'm sure you was engendered by a male and a female. A male had a part to play. So what are you saying about your father? You with me? So it speaks value. And like Sister Amonette said, it's about the family. Their culture is not about the family. Our culture is about the family. Our heritage, our stories about the family. Theirs is not. Theirs is like just taking. Okay, it doesn't work. Just beat him down. Ours is not. Ours is about the two coming together and creating a balance and saying, okay, so there's a bit of a flaw. How do we fix it? Let's fix it. Let's move on, because we know as a family we're strong, and as a family that's how we move. A son needs his father You know, a daughter needs her father. So what do you
That's
say?
right.
You know, and that's why we have to make sure that that narrative, people don't buy into that. That's not the way forward. You know, for us it doesn't work. We've tried to
Right.
work however many years.
That's right.
We're not doing that anymore.
That's right. And so I'm echoing everything you all said. And I just want to say, because a lot of people, young people included, don't know our history, right?
Mm,
Not only is it about the family, but it's about the cultured family, it's about the Black
There we
family.
go.
Because
mm,
when we're looking at it from their perspective, they're coming from white feminism, as someone that said. And so
right.
everything that took place, and anyone who read the book from B.B. Clenora Hudson Wing's African Womanism, she broke down exactly how this took place and developed over time. So anybody that understands that history knows what to look for. They know what they're hearing. They know what they're seeing when they see it.
Mm-hmm.
So it
Mm-hmm.
looks the same and it sounds the same to me, especially when you're promoting the gay man over
That's
the
right.
man.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's exactly what happened, because we wanted all these sexual freedoms, and then we started allowing men to then be effeminized and saying that men can be gay and men
Come
can
on.
be this and men can be that. And then you have a problem when they start taking your rights, when they start beating you in sports, when they start coming over to the
Right.
Olympics and everything else, and you wonder, well, that's not fair. That's a man. Well, you just allowed that man to
That's
step in
right.
your place and
That's
speak your
right.
truth. So in
Mm-hmm.
one breath you can't say that, and in another breath you say something else. So I
Mm-hmm.
think as Nubian ladies, we have to be able to distinct. No, that's their culture, that's their way of
That's
life,
right.
that's their thinking. But you can't take that on. But
Mhm.
unless you know the history and you know your culture, you'll fall victim to it every time.
Because
It's
whiteness
a,
has the ability to be, it has the ability to be universal. The way they present womanhood, the way they
Mm.
present manhood, the way they present familyhood, they're like, we're the standard and everyone should be
Yeah.
like this. And it's like, but you're not really the standard. And if this
Mm.
is the standard, I'm not taking what you're selling.
Mm.
Mm.
mhm.
Right.
Yes. And so I think it's important that we speak up.
That's right.
Ladies of Purpose can't just speak up at the Ladies of Purpose conference.
That,
Ladies of Purpose have to speak up 365, because they're promoting this 365. So it's up
that's
to
right.
us every day to stand up and give the messaging of Ladies of Purpose so people can understand that we're here too. And so in order for us to take our place, and just as ladies, right, in response to this conflict with the man, that's just being portrayed all over the internet. If you had a message to say as a lady of purpose to the Black man, what would it be?
Okay.
Right. We always like,
I think one of the things that our black men have been through so much and continuously going through so much. And I would just want to say to the black men that we are with you. We stand right next to you in the fight, and we're holding your back. If you need us, we're here. We're holding your hands. You don't need to. Sometimes you don't need us to hold your hands, but we're here if you need us to hold your hand. And just to know that we are here, I think that is something that a black man, um, something happened to us. And I think when I look at my brothers, when I look at my fathers, and I look at my sons, it scares me because they feel alone in this. We've seen mothers throw away their sons. We've seen mothers throw away their babies. We've seen wives just leave the home because they feel that they are just simple things. They're unhappy and don't even know how to express or their own identity. So something happened to us. And as we're putting the pieces back together for ourselves in ladyhood, we now have to be able to stand as examples and be able to show our men. That's one of the things that I realized even in my own marriage. I had to be able to show my husband that I had his back.
Mhm. Yes.
I'll jump in. The one thing I would do, I would apologize.
Mm.
I would apologize. And I'm saying this as a child and as an adult, right? My mom, she was the man that raised me was not my biological father. And so, not thinking in my mind, okay, he took on a responsibility that wasn't his intentionally, right? And raised me to the best of his ability with whatever resources he had access to, right? During my attitude years, doing whatever, he decided to take on another man's child, right? Whether men do that in the form of mentoring, whether men do that in the form of, think, uncles, men decide that, hey, this young person, whether male or female, needs to have a village around, and he elected to do that, number one. Number two, I would apologize because in my state of mind, and I'm saying this as a black woman now, intentionally for the past years, electing to be melanin minded, electing to be culturally minded, and moving away from what I thought was what men wanted. I thought they wanted, I'm gonna say the words, my titties out and my breast out and my tight skirts and my weave. And I thought this was the image. So I was chasing that image, but that image comes with checklists and plans and scheduling men in, right? And talking sideways because I'm educated, I have money, and in the process of me buying all these things, I can buy you too. I apologize, right? And then the last thing I would apologize for is a lot of times, especially as you become more culturally minded, we have to allow that we walk together in leadership, but you have to allow a man to be a man. And many times I've watched my aunties, my sisters, black women emasculate black men and black boys. I mean, just cut the testicles right out, right? Through speech and words and action tactics that are not necessary. So I would say to the black man, I apologize, first off, for my role in creating the situation that you find yourself in. I'm going to take a step back and look at myself and do some work, right? And then I'm going to be right here while you stand, I'm going to stand with you. That's what I would say.
Yes.
I'm on.
So I would say to those men, I'd say, we're lifting off the blanket, we're lifting off the sheet, and letting the whole world know that we know you are a jewel and you are a rarity. And like a diamond, what they do is they tend to take the diamond, they want to keep it for themselves.
My
And they
goodness.
want to know, like, it's there, but we want it for ourselves, you know. So that is what we know, which is why we hold on to you in our hearts, in our minds, and everything. We know the world you are, and you got to know that you are a jewel that they're trying to hold down. Because anything that's so good and pure, no, let's keep it. We know that we all have our goods and bads, so bear with me when I say pure. Yeah, so we know that something so good. Why is it being held down? Why do they want the world to see that you're so bad?
Come on.
Anything that's so good that they're trying to make seem bad, they need to look into it because there's something that they're hiding. And we know it's because they want you for themselves. They hold you down, they talk bad about you, but yet the women want you, the men want you, the whole nation wants you. We're not listening to that. So we know who you are and we hold you.
Right.
So let's go.
Absolutely. Yes.
I'm on.
See, I'm on. And so everything that's being said has to be that counter message, that counter narrative. This is the second time Dr. Ford stole my answer. It was during the first ladies conference and it was now. But let me tell you where I got it. I really wanted to apologize because there was a class that Reverend Dr. AJ Rama did, and he apologized for all the men. He's like, ladies, I apologize to you, and I apologize. And he went in, and I said, you know what? I said, when have we ever apologized? Not just for ourselves, but collectively. What we have allowed to be done. Not just control, but what we have allowed to be done over time. See, it's not just your part in it, but it's your part in helping to raise us as a collective. Because sometimes we sit back and we support that counter narrative.
That's
We
right,
sit
sis.
back and we don't do anything about it. So just apologizing for not our role in contributing to the problem and to not fixing the problem. That's number one. And then when they say we don't need you, just simply saying we need you.
That's right.
Those three words, we
We
need
need
you.
you.
Because they said we don't, we say we do. They
That's
say
right.
you're nothing. Karen Hitler said you're a jewel. You say this, the someone that says that. You said this, Dr. Ford said that. Pastor Karen Hilton said this. So this is the counter
That's right.
narrative that we have to do each and every time.
Yes.
So I thought about today, right before we came on, and I said, what's something that we never spoke on? Right. And so I'll give each person an opportunity to think about that throughout, the rest of the time we have today. But one of the things I thought of is, the time that we're living in is headed in a way, right? Reverend Dr. Ajay Brahma Basesh says that in order for a renewal to occur, destruction has to take place, right? The destruction for the renewal. And I think we're in a time of destruction. We're in a time where we're seeing so many things take place if we're paying attention, or if you're listening to Basesh who's bringing it before us and saying, do you see the war? Do you see the different natural disasters? Do you see what's happening? Do you see the food shortage? Do you see pointing out all these different things, right? And so when we understand where the world is headed, do we consider as ladies what that means for us? For the family, of course, for the man, for the child, but what does that mean for us? Because I think so many women are focused on what bag they want, what pair of shoes they want, or which restaurant is he taking me out to today? But what does that look like when you don't have a restaurant to go to? What does that look like when you can't get the bag or get the shoes because you don't even know how you're going to eat because you never grew food? You don't know how to do so many things that a lady should know how to do. So as a tonus lady, what's some of the things that you have to consider that the average atonist or the average woman doesn't consider as it pertains to our survival?
Okay. So as you were speaking, it's interesting because as much as I personally, as we see the chaos, and I think it's happening to all of us, even as atonists, Karastians, and I'm sure my sisters, you all can speak to this as well. There's a lot of destruction going on, but there's so much healing and renewing going on at the same time. And most of it is taking place internally, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically in the Black community and Black home and Black family. And that is a beautiful thing. And that's what we have to give thanks to atonism for us. Because if it wasn't for atonism, I truly don't know where we would be mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically at this time, because our Basesh has been keep on us before COVID. Grow your own foods, buy toilet paper, because these things were presented to us before it started happening.
Right.
And so now he's continuously telling us, grow your own food, grow your own, get land. Land is power. You understand? And so we have been given a guide who is there to help guide us through and being able to see the things before it's happening, because we can see and it's continuously saying, be not, as the scripture says in Revelation, be not of the world. I'm trying to remember the exact words. Be not.
Keep going.
I don't know if you guys can help me out.
Yep,
be not of the world,
but not
be
of
in the world, but not of the world. Yes.
In the world, but not of it.
You get your quotes right, Amanette.
You always in the chat with the quotes, so it's okay.
And so that is very important for us. So that means that we cannot get caught up on vain vanity. You understand? Those things are for us are, it doesn't mean that, oh, you don't look good, because hey, we are regal ladies. And we're now being able to change our own narrative, because like we have said just not, in the first part, we have been following somebody else's narrative.
Yeah.
And now we're now taking or reclaiming our narrative through the scriptures, through looking at the scriptures through African eyes, and being able to say, okay, I'm now going to teach my family, and this is important for my family, being able to teach them that we have to grow our own foods. We have our garden in the yard. It's so beautiful to be able to just go outside and not be able to go in the food store, because we know what's being put in the foods and being sprayed on the foods, the pesticides, etc. And now we're able to control what we're eating. You understand? That's the only way that you can control what you eat, is if you're growing it yourself.
That's
And
right.
so, and so that's what I'm sharing today.
Yes, thank you.
You know, when you said the question, I had to think of so many things. So many things jumped in my mind. And you know, being a women of faith, right? The great thing about the scriptures, the scriptures are always talking about battles and fighting and victory, right? And as women, I think we have to really understand that this is a battle. That you know, I don't know sometimes if we understand when we say who's the enemy, right? Is it the enemy?
Hello.
Right? Or is it, you know, the images that are on TV, or the clothes options that I have at the grocery store? Or is it the fact that I have to constantly consider and read that everything that you've been told is a lie? That's everything,
My goodness.
everything. So it could be something as simple as, in January, there was a study that showed that Black men are more involved with their children than any other group.
Come on.
They're more involved in activities.
Yeah.
But the narrative that they put on TV, you would think that the Black man is completely absent.
Yep.
But the research shows that. So that means that every time I'm giving something and it said, look this way, I got to look in the opposite direction. What don't you want me to see? What don't you want me to recognize? So that means I can't take anything at face value.
That's right.
Question everything.
I have to question, analyze, scrutinize, know. And that's the great thing about, you know, being under the guidance of our church, being a member of the Holy Catholic Church, because we're creating an environment that says, and I'm going to use my sister, she's going to kill me, as an example, that we can create something new, but we have to have a center point somewhere to meet that. We have to have that. That's the cook. That's our center. That's our way of life. And so I'm way over here in Greenfield. This is the way over in Nassau. And she was like, hey, I want to apologize to you. And I was like, you did nothing. The only thing you do is give me the example of how to be the best atonist, a better atonist. And so when you realize that these people, this is your ride or die crew, figure it out. So we need to figure it out, because we don't have that much time. Figure it out.
Yes.
I think for you know, atonist women or women of faith, you know, and both sisters have touched on the points that I was thinking that, you know, before you even, I would say, you know, 5 years ago, I said, as soon as you open your door, it's like, oh, it's in your face, it's under attack. But now it's in your home. You know, you open up the phone, the news feeds are sent to you. You know, if you watch TV, the programs, it's like, okay, you have to be so selective as to what you watch, especially if you have children. Young minds are very vulnerable. And, you know, and you're trying to say to them, you know, because you see way down the road, life experience, you know, the fact that we're learning so much about different cultures, about, you know, what is going on. If you play chess, you see the moves coming. You're trying to explain to your children, listen, don't do this, because I don't think you should watch that. Too many whites. You know, it's like, was it Francis, you know, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing that said, if they're watching white all the time, white. At what point do we put black back in here? So
Come on.
pictures are so important, what they're watching, and your children looking like, Mum, it's just. It's always, it's just. And you're trying to explain that, no, it's not just, because, and when you just sound like somebody that's going on and on and on, and they want to look at you. You're trying to say to them, listen, if you watch all these images, you grow up thinking that these images, you're trying to explain to them, what's been explained to us. And, it's so, women of faith, we're constantly having to remind somebody, or even sometimes you see it as you walk out and you want to say, you see a lovely sister, why, you want to say something, but you think, mind your business, because you don't know her mind. So you keep looking, you're thinking, hey, sis, you look good today. Yeah, yeah. Like it's natural, you're trying to bring her in, So women of faith, we always got to be on guard. It's because constant attack.
Yeah.
And even
Always.
that's not an attack. It is constant attack, because everything is geared away from having a faith, away from discipline, away from family, away from, everything is away from that. And it seemed like, oh no, this is just what it is in 2024. Do you know what I mean? And so you're thinking, people, do you not see? And sometimes you're like, do you not see? Oh my God. You want to do this. And you're just like, really, you're sitting here like this. And in your mind, like, oh my gosh, don't you not see this? So yeah, it's constant.
You know what? I'm glad you said that, right? Because for those who don't see, we're about to paint a picture. So this is not a setup question. I know, Dr. Ford, what I'm going to ask you to do, I know you can do it because we have a lot of conversations. So I know you got this. And we're going to paint a picture. She over there like, you're so bogus. All right, so we're going to paint a picture, right? Some of the things, anything, because you do Melanin Minds, we do so many different things, right? Things that are happening in the world, right? That's eye-opening, that we should be able to see, and why Sister Amonette and Sister Pastor Karen Hilton are going to be the two atonement sisters that need each other. Because I think a lot of times, especially because we're international, especially because we're doing things in so many different locations, we're dealing with all different types of people.
Yes.
And if you have never traveled, if you don't know where that person is from, you can offend somebody just because you don't know their language, you don't know the way they talk, you don't know their slang, you don't know.
Amen.
How many mistakes can happen just because we don't know a person's background? We don't know. It's a lot of different factors, right? And sometimes I think that we grew up where we can pick and choose friends, or we can pick and choose, the person we want to be. We can pick and choose the bag. We can be so selective with everything that we never had to need someone or need something where you don't have much of a choice. So when you're given so many choices, you can have less connection to what it is that you really need to have a connection with. Because, I don't know, throw that away, grab this. There's nothing gluing you. It's nothing binding you. It's nothing magnetizing you together. So she's going to paint the picture, and you two will let us know why. And this is what we do in real time as brothers and sisters, why we need each other and what that would look like. Why would you need Pastor Karen Hilton? Why would she need you? She don't have a choice that she don't like Sister Amonette. Sister Amonette don't have a choice that she don't like Pastor Karen Hilton, right? In this example, this is not real.
Right.
And so we can just paint a picture for people that we can come together as ladies. Because I'm just like, do we like anything? We say men ain't nothing. We don't like men. Then we don't like women. We can't get along with women. We don't like what do we like?
What do we like?
Figure out what do we like. So let's go more to need, because we don't like a lot of stuff. So what do we need? So go ahead, Dr. Ford, you can start us out.
The problem with needs. In counseling, we have a word called cognitive distortions. And cognitive distortions are tendencies or thought patterns that are irrational. They don't really make sense. And they cause a lot of psychological damage. Let's say that's your starting point. Let's say that's your foundation. right? Where you might have biases about a person, you might make assumptions about a person, and on top of that, it's scary to say, I got distorted thinking. No one wants to say that. No one wants to say, based off the decisions in my life I've made, obviously I might not know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's the picture. So fast forward. Then you interact with different people, and in white society, non-melanated, let me correct it, under racism, white supremacy, our dysfunction is a benefit. It's a benefit to them, because it keeps them at the top of different fields. When you don't have black children going into STEM, you don't have black children going into medicine, you don't have black people having their own businesses. And so when we're talking about regression, you can look at history. This isn't anything I'm saying, but what happened to all the black businesses? What happened to the mom and pop shops? What happened to our people owning land and owning their own house? What happened? And so you keep seeing things are getting snatched and snatched and snatched till we're at this point now where nobody cares about one another.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You know,
You did a Melanin Minds on
Yeah.
the food shortage. Okay. So that's the picture you're painting right now. Boom. This is the scarcity of food. This is the food shortage. Sister Almonette, Sister Pastor Karen Hilton are going to say, well, what might I need from Sister Almonette? What might I need from Pastor Karen Hilton in this scenario, and how we as Atonist ladies will be able to benefit from each other? Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so we don't have no food. What we gonna do?
Let me go first. Hold on, wait. So I just want to say, I know what we need from Sister Amanette. She has sunshine. She has a big old land with food. So we need some food. We need that sunshine growing veg. We need all of that. We also need advice on how to grow our own as well, because you're growing it up there. So yeah, that's what we need. I'm not quite sure what you need from us in the UK. I'm not sure there's much we can give you, but advice, hey, we're here. I can give you a helping hand.
So we also need from you. I need from you, my sister, the expertise and the expert advice for me to also learn how to grow the food. So you have the knowledge, and so I would need you to assist me and guide me through the process, and train me, teach me as well, especially as an associate pastor, Calhoun as well.
Okay, so I get it. I get the scenario now. Okay, so.
It's too late. It's too late. Abort mission. No, really, no. The point was, seriously, the point is that, a lot of times, because we're so selfish, wanting it to be about us and wanting to not like it, we're not prioritizing, we're not understanding the severity of the times that we're facing and that we're going to face. And the person that you might not like may be the person you need something from.
Sure.
Sister Karen Hilton might need to tell you the herb that you need because now you're sick.
That's right. Come on.
Sister Amonette may be able to cook that food, and Dr. Ford may be able to grow that food, and this person may be able to do that. But when you're so divided in your thinking, you wait until you said every wrong thing, or you did, or you wait till you've done everything to really need that person. So we're trying to say in sisterhood, that's really the purpose, and the sisterhood here, why we consider the need for each other. And I think that's what we were trying to say in a conference at some point, is how do we get past, let me see, the topics I have in here. One of them dealt with what we actually needed. It said, okay, we had, what the hell is wrong with us? Emotions, how to balance the emotion of women's submission to their husband defined, the angry Black woman, career, education, family, tell your story, how social media affects Black spaces and affects the Black mind, communities, all of these topics we had. Then we had one on Saturday. Why do women compete with each
Compete with
other?
each other.
Can women truly work together?
Mm.
Why some women can't get along well with each other or their family? Are you a lady or a woman?
Mm.
So I think that was one of the things that was like everybody was like, man, I don't know why this person ain't like me. Why this? So I think we needed to kind of touch a little bit more on.
But can we be on the other side of that too? I don't know if everybody gonna be honest. Cause I was a sorority girl, and we used to have like, I'm not gonna say mean streaks, but I'm gonna call them mean streaks at times.
Yeah.
And there is Papyrus 2, the Bear Sheaf, and there's this one verse, and it talks about how Sarah would browbeat Hagar.
Right.
It said browbeat, right? And I was like, that is an interesting word. And I think sometimes we browbeat each other, right? We always trying to find that one thing,
That one flaw.
Thing, you older, you younger, you been here longer. I've been here. Something that's gonna say, let me one up versus cooperate.
And
So
you're
I'm
right,
saying
my
something.
sister. No, you're right about that. And I think when we are honest about that, and we're able to really see where that is actually stemming from, when we learn that, and I think I mentioned it a little briefly in the Ladies of Purpose conference, we have to be able to get to the point where we can see ourselves in each other, when we can really appreciate from a divine person, from all the flaws and all the hurts and the traumas, everything, when we can own all of those things, and then we can be patient with ourselves in our healing process, and us putting the pieces back together as regal ladies of purpose, then we are able to have patience with each other. We're able to see the divinity in each other, and that is so important. That it's not just coming from that browbeating. It's not really just coming from the next person. That's coming from your own self, that own insecurity. What is it? Why you want to browbeat that next person? You understand?
Absolutely. And I think that on adding to that as well, honesty sometimes stings. And with that honesty, it's like, well, do I like that sting? No, because sometimes it lasts more than 24 hours. And rather than me just saying, okay, it stung, that's what it is, let's move forward. Some of us, we'd be like, oh gosh, it's still stinging. So rather than having to deal with that sting, I'm gonna lock this off, put this painkiller here constantly, so I don't have to feel this, and I don't have to deal with it if I put that there, because I don't really know that it's there. And that's going back to the traumas that we mentioned earlier on, about dealing with those traumas. People say, well, I'm not dealing with trauma. Okay, so let's be open then, because you see a little bit of yourself in that person. Like, I want to be like that person, but I don't want to admit I want to be that person, because I might have this. And she tells me, okay, this is you. Oh, that sting, that bee sting. I'm not ready to take that bee sting. So guess what? It's never there anyway. So, it's about honesty, being honest, being ready to look in the mirror and say, okay, I'm ready to be honest with myself.
Face
Therefore,
yourself.
Honest with everybody else now. And when they say something now, okay, I didn't really like it. It ruffled my feathers, but I'm good to go. Okay, I know what to fix. Let's happen. And I can speak from experience, because I did go through that. When say, tell me the truth. I want to hear the truth. And then when they tell me the truth, I'll be vexed for days.
We all been there, my sister. We all been there.
I'll be so upset. I'm good. And we do that in a high tone. I'm good. But
really, that's my favorite. No, I'm good.
I'm fine.
You say that at a 2. You say that at a 10.
Yeah. That's interesting how we go that high pitch. I know for me. For me, I go in singing mode, and that singing mode helps me get, I go singing.
Listen, me too. Listen, I'll be over here chicken. And I go, and Mary, like, okay, she's mad. All right, so we have a couple minutes left, because today is Shabbat, and I know many of us we're here still trying to run and get there. So within the last few minutes, I'm going to list the topics again from the Ladies of Purpose Conference. you may have been in that section, may not have been, and it may be something you wanted to say or something that you really appreciated that was said. So as I list them, you can either add to it something that you want people to hear that haven't seen the conference or has seen the conference, or you can emphasize what was being said that you think is the most important for us to keep in mind and remember moving forward. Okay, day one, and it should encourage people to also go watch it. Day one, again, Friday, this is March 29th. We discussed, are you a line stepper or a lady in behavior and mindset? What the hell is wrong with us? Emotions. How to balance the emotions of women. Women's submission to their husband defined. That was all in segment one.
Right.
That was juicy. Segment two, the angry Black woman. Career, education, family, and then tell your story, which was really good. Okay. Segment three, how social media and Black spaces affect the mind. Beauty and the Beast. Age, beauty, and activity. The real cost of hair, skin, and nails. A woman's choice, diet, and exercise. That was all day one. That was Friday alone. All right, Saturday.
Powerful.
Saturday. Why do women compete with each other? Can we truly work together? Why some women can't get along well with each other and their family. Are you a lady or a woman? Segment two, we are not your lyrics. Is it still there? Know your nature. Modern versus traditional woman. Segment three, why successful melanated women cannot find successful melanated men. What does it mean to be a helpmeet or a helpmate? What about men? He is not your son, he is your husband. All right, the last one, religion, dedication, adherence, and purpose. How far will you go? Raising the intellect. Lastly, etiquettes of ladyhood, revolutionary ladyhood, powerful versus prissy, the mother-daughter talk. So that's, y'all have plenty to choose from, and I'll let you jump in.
Go ahead, Countess Nut. You filed this away.
Thank you, Dr. Ford. I knew you were going to say that. Can you just go? There was something I wanted to say. Go on Friday again. Something
Friday.
You said Friday sparked.
Friday. What the hell is wrong with us? Emotions? Okay. How to balance the emotions of women, women's submission to their husband, the angry Black woman, career, education, tell your story. We talked about social media, Black spaces affecting the mind, Beauty and the Beast, the real cost.
Okay, no. I remember what it was now. I don't know if it was Friday, but it was can women truly work together?
Okay.
And so you want us to just speak on it?
Yeah, you can literally add to something you didn't get to say. Something, because I don't know if you were in that segment. So something you wanted to say, or you could just emphasize something someone had already said that you think is important for us to, keep in mind as we move forward.
Okay, all right. So a mixture of what the heck is wrong with us, our emotions, and can women truly work together? Yes, those three. Yes, I'm going to roll up something into one with those ones. So where it says, what the heck is wrong with us? We're.
As a matter of fact, I'm gonna let you think about that. We're gonna take a quick commercial break. So when we come back, you get to hear the answers from these lovely ladies. We'll be right back.
Smoke cigarette, has cancer in the chest, like. When I'm superheroes, let me see you take off.
Right now, get conscious news every month. Stay up to date with the Cryptic Revealer every month you can expect conscious perspectives, balanced advice, inspirational stories, together with provoking discussions on every topic. Read and enjoy a magazine that goes beyond and above the scenes. What you waiting for? Start your collection now. This full-color magazine for just $3 US. You can get it as a PDF to read on the go, or as a physical copy to read in the comfort of your homes. Stacking too high? Don't throw it. You can leave it at the train stations, barber salons, taxis, buses, cafes. Someone will need it. The Coptic Revealer at www.journeyhomegroup.com. Right now, get conscious news every month. Stay up to date with the Coptic Revealer. Every month, you can expect.
Okay, so I guess we're emphasizing the Coptic Revealer, so I might as well just go ahead and help out. So there's a magazine, and I don't just throw any advertisements up. And I know people will pay for advertisements, but I'm not going to just throw anything on the screen. Everything I put is intentional, has my stamp of approval. Coptic Revealer, for those who are trying to help push conscious messaging. And even if you just want to reading is important. And if you just want to stay up to date on the things that are happening in the world, if you want to give something to your children, to your nieces, to your nephews, if you're on the train, if you're on the bus, if you're riding, if you're at work, if you're on break and you need to read something, the Coptic Revealer is only $3. $3. So order your Coptic Revealer. Go to www.journeyhomegroup.com. Get your Coptic Revealer. Get your incense. Get your oils. Get your books. All right. Thanks again. You're tuned into The Vantage Point. We're back because we have to hurry up so we can go eat our lovely Shubat meal. And so we're back with Dr. Ford, the Conscious Counselor, Associate Pastor Karen Hilton, and Sister Amonette Hika. All right. Minavizir. All right. So you were in the middle of, she was lighting it up. I seen it sparking, and then I just shut it down. So go ahead, please.
I don't know where the spark has gone, but we'll try. So yeah, when we talk about, can women truly work together? Yes, they can. And when they say, like you hear the normal sayings, I get on with men better than I get on with women. And you will get on with that woman, especially when you have children, because when any woman that has a goal and she wants to get to point A to point B, and there's another woman there, regardless of it, you know what? I will do what I have to do. I will work with her. I might not like her, I might not trust her, but I will work with her. And it's like we see each other, we see each other. We see each other before anybody else sees us, so we know how we work because we know the mechanics of how we feel and how our mind works. So, yes, we can, because if you can do it, for that purpose, I need this. Now, Sister Amonette is on the step, but I don't really want to talk to Sister Amonette, but I will talk to Sister Amonette nicely for me to get past her. If that's what I have to do, then I will play that. So, it can work. So all you have to do is just keep those emotions like in the little bag, and you keep them in the back there. They come out when you need them, not every single day. So, so it's like, and with regards to, what was the other ones? I forgot the other ones already, but, yeah, anyway, well, let's just go on that point.
You heard it here first. If somebody is standing on the step and you need to get up those steps and you don't want to get tripped, smile and pass on by. Okay. You heard it here first.
Right, exactly.
Thank you. Dr. Ford, what's the style on that?
Okay, I'm going to jump in. I don't recall the section, the name, but I know it's about music. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about
your lyrics.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the lyrics. Mm-hmm. The add-on piece that I would add is there's a flip side where we need to give an alternative, a counter to the songs that we were talking about, right? And talk about how the music has changed. And I'm saying this in regards to, like, for example, that first question that you asked about Black men, because I know here in the United States, now they're using, hip hop lyrics and rapper lyrics in criminal cases. The actual song lyrics can be used against the person. right? So I'm mentioning that because it's just a matter of time. Because okay, now if we could do it with criminal cases, does that also apply to pornography lyrics? Right? Like this bar can definitely move. So I'm saying that is that we have to be able to provide conscious alternatives
Mm.
and provide it and encourage the youth to be like, hey, the music should, it has to make a turn for the better, because it makes no sense that, if this is a prison industrial complex and we're singing rap lyrics and now it can be used like, I sold this, I did that, I did this, and that can be used against us. So how about we do it to the betterment, to the positive? So I wish that, I would say, look at me, I got on a hoodie, y'all, and some jogger pants. Everyday people.
Hell
That's it, right? A tone and flip. We everyday
Noticed.
people, right? We just study the scriptures. And part two is the great thing about the scriptures is this book of Psalms is always talking about the importance of music.
Mm.
Music can have a healing, not just only to your spirit, but to your mind. So being very aware that you can listen to some natural sounds and instruments and getting back to some good vibrations. That's what I
That's
would say.
right. All right. All right.
Yeah.
Yes. So I wanted to jump in on Pastor, Associate Pastor Karen Hilton. I wanted to add something to what she said, especially the part of sitting on the step. One of the things we don't do as sisters is we don't communicate well. We don't communicate well, and I think that um, stems from trauma. I think that stems from a lot of that mother-daughter relationship as well. And because I didn't grow up with my mother, and so I found that there was a disconnect even though I yearned for connecting with sisters, there was still a disconnect, and I had to learn that. But I had to learn how to connect to it first inside of myself. You understand? When I started to, when I had my girl child, I had to connect to that femininity part of myself to even teach her femininity about herself as well. And so I think that is one of our biggest challenges as sisters, and even as wives. We don't know how to communicate to our husbands, and so I think that is we have to work on our communication. It starts with us. I think everything that we could ever possibly talk about, it really starts with ourselves. And until we can be honest and be able to communicate better and treat ourselves better, then we'll be able to communicate and treat others better. Another thing that I really, really um, I've shared my story, and I'm continuously sharing my story, because one of the things that I am finding in that is that I'm healing generational trauma when I do that. I know the spiritual journey within it speaks on page 82. It says, stop thinking of your body, mind, soul, spirit, emotions, and physical body as yourself, but instead as a strand in a long line of generational souls. So we're not just here for ourselves, we're here for each other, but we're here for a long line of generational souls.
Yep.
And so I'm learning too that our families are suffering because we're not telling our stories. Generation after generation, you find the same cycle over cycle. When I go in my lineage, I see sexual abuse. I see substance abuse. And then when I see if my children or even if myself find myself doing that, sometimes we don't even understand why we are doing certain things. We're carrying a lot of baggages that aren't ours, but yet are ours, but generational baggage. And so it's now time to offload. And that's what atonism has done for me, is doing for me continuously. And so I'm healing. I'm learning to see myself in the true likeness of divinity, and I'm able to see that inside each of you. And so I also we apologize to our brothers, and I think it's this moment I want to apologize to my sisters because
Mm.
it's been, there's a negative stigma that has been attached to us, sisters, that we can't get along. And we're dispelling that this moment, right? We've been dispelling
Yes,
that in our
yes.
sisterhood and daughters of our sex and sisters of Tara, right?
Mhm.
So I want to apologize. I want to apologize to my sisters. I wanted to apologize to each of you if I have offended because I wasn't in my right mind. I'm learning, and I'm going to have more patience with you as you become and you learn and see yourself in divinity.
Oh, I was waiting for that. No, you never offended me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You never offended me. I just had to do that. And it's good to hear apologies because we always, like, as women, we want everyone to apologize to us. Like, you ain't say sorry, and so to just have us honestly say is beautiful. And I love the book, The Journey Within. So I'm glad that you brought that forth. So that can also, be ordered. It's authored also by Reverend Dr. A.J. Varma. If you want to look at the book, Spiritual Journey Within. I love that book, and it reminded me we were supposed to talk about spirituality today and ladyhood. So next time we have to conclude with that. And I think the main thing for me, it's not so deep. You all went deep, and I love your answers. Is as ladies, we can't defend, we can't protect what we're not. So if we're not ladies, we can't protect ladyhood. Our men, to our Black men, if you're not being and acting and standing as a Black Nubian male, you can't protect manhood. So I remember saying to Hasesh, I was just like, women are trying to be like men now. I'm looking on Instagram and I see the money and the dollar and they grabbing and it's just everything's so hard, right? And I look at men and I see she talked about the gay men in the beginning, and I see so much of that. And so I said, well, they're trying to be men. He's like, no, because that's not really what womanhood is. That's what, society paints it to be. That's what the TV says it is. So they're becoming the narrative. But if we don't stand as ladies and say, this is what ladyhood looks like, we can protect ladyhood. We can't protect what we're not. So become every day so that the line is clear. You can't step across this line. We are who we are. So I think that's the main thing. We can protect our men, we can protect our children, but we all got to be on the same side of the line.
That's right.
We can't be a line stepper, half in, half out, because you'll get caught on the other side. So with that, I want to thank each and every one of you, all three of you, for being here today. We apologize for the late start, but we want to thank you for coming, the answers, the time, the expertise, just the realness that you brought to the Vantage Point today. We want to thank all of our listeners for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next week on the Vantage Point. And until next time, you all have a blessed week. Stay alert, stay aware, understand what's happening around you, because the more that you're alert, the more that you're aware, is the more that you can protect your mind, your psyche, you can protect your family. And don't allow anyone to make you become that which you have not been engendered to be, that which is not natural for you to be. So it's natural for us to be ladies. So we're going to stand up for ladyhood. Until next time.